Hello, this is Crypto CJ. It's Trade of the Day, Monday afternoon / evening Zoom edition, and we are basking in the glow of Bitcoin breaking 40K, breaking 41K, briefly breaking 42K, and now sort of dipping down to about 41.8, 41.89, 41.9. Let's look at the chart, check it out. Okay, folks should be seeing my Bitcoin day chart. I'll assume that's what you're seeing. Okay, so I've changed my zones. I've updated them. What used to be support, what used to be resistance is now support. We've broken through this 36 to 38 with some force, and you can see way up to 41.9 at the moment. To show you the whole setup, I've got to scrunch this down really small, which might be difficult to see. I had to go back to last spring to get some data to determine where the resistance would be, and I put it between 45 and 48. As you know, I like the Crypto Ran Man newsletters. Sheldon the Sniper, it's pretty good. He's a really good swing trader, and he's saying there's not much resistance to 48K, and I think he's right. I mean, this didn't take very long to dip down here. I mean, it takes longer to go up usually than to come down, but yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if we had 48K by the end of the month, or maybe Q1 of 2024. So that's pretty cool. Exciting stuff. Let's look at Ethereum. I did redo this one as well. One more thing on the Bitcoin. I drew this line at 31K just so we could know where we were in case we do have a big, if we have a big drop, big pullback, down to 31, 32K, wouldn't surprise me. So that's why I put that line there. On Ethereum, got a similar line at 1550. This might be a little premature to put this as support. This 2150 to 1950 area, essentially around 2000 and change. And then the same thing, I had to go back to last spring to get data to determine resistance. I've got it between 3000 and 3500, a pretty big range, but that's where we were last spring, about 18, 20 months ago. So pretty good news. And so why did this happen? Let's I'm gonna bring up an email and go over a couple things. If I can find it. Come on, email, where are you? There we go. Okay, so you should be seeing an email, and I've highlighted, so what are the reasons for the pump?
Yep.
Thanks. This is the Good Morning Crypto email, daily email I get. I talked about this a little bit on Friday from the Sheldon's group and those folks in South Africa. So one of the reasons, and this happens quite frequently when there's a big pump, is a short squeeze. If you know how shorts work, people who buy a short are borrowing from an exchange, and then if it goes against them, they are either stopped out or liquidated, and they have to purchase the asset to cover it. And then if there's a bunch of people purchasing assets because their shorts got crushed, that'll push the price up pretty quickly. And we also have gold having a new all-time high. So people are moving into assets they deem probably more reliable, more trustworthy than the US dollar, or any currency for that matter, anything that's been inflated in the last couple of years. And then finally, this I did not know. Rumors of Qatar's monumental 500 billion investment in Bitcoin. So that's intriguing. Looks like the Qatari emir and the president of El Salvador were hanging out talking about things, and I think El Presidente got got the emir's attention, and he's pondering adding this kind of investment for his country over there in the Arab Gulf states. So I think it's Qatar or Qatar. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but that kind of purchase would definitely move the market. So, any questions, comments about the markets overall? Any other rumors or anything you guys have read that are relevant to the markets? Okay. Well, I was pondering in my prep time here, should we be day trading? Should we be holding longer? I like the 15-minute charts. Do we go to 30 minutes or an hour instead of trying to get 1%, on leverage at 10x, maybe 2%, or do more manual trading and watch things instead of setting up take profit, as soon as I make a trade. These are the kind of things you have to take into consideration when the market changes, because what worked before, when the market was ranging, my 1% approach worked really well. Now, maybe that's not sufficient for this market. Should I be doing shorts at all, on the leverage side? I had one make me nervous today. I got out early in the small profit. It's like, man, I didn't trade my plan or I didn't plan my trade or trade the plan correctly. So, and it kept going down. I should have stayed in. Anyway, these are the kind of things you need to think about when you're trading a market that's changing. So let's get started. We'll look at Altcoin Alert, see what we can find for day trades. We'll go from there. Okay, Altcoin Alert. I am on the Altcoin Radar setting as opposed to the dashboard. I'm going to reload, get the latest information. First thing I'm going to do is my AA score sort. I did this morning, saw IOTEX just flying up. I did a brief search, try to find out why. I don't know why. This is an older project. I swear, I think what happens is whales get together, a dozen of them or so, and say, let's pump this project, and then off it goes. It did have some news earlier in November, but with some partnerships, but that shouldn't last all the way till December. Anyway, so that one's intriguing, but probably played out for the day over 50%. Immutable X, I kind of like this one. I've been trading it lately. I dipped a little bit today. Raven Coins, another older project. It's only up 8%, so these still have potential. TRB, I trade occasionally. GNO, I don't know that well, and Nano is kind of hard to find on an exchange. But these are all very bullish. 6 of them above 80. Again, 80% chance that these will go up 3% or more in the next 48 to 72 hours. So are all the altcoins going to tag along with Bitcoin and Ethereum? It doesn't look like it. A lot will, but some will not. Some may be lagging. We'll see. For now, let's look at IMX. I did look at IOTEX earlier, but it's such a spike up. I'm not sure what we can do with that. So let's look at IMX. Take a quick look at the 5. I think everybody on here now has been through at least a few of my Zoom calls, so I might go a little faster today than I usually do. If you want me to explain something or slow down, let me know. So on the 5-minute, we've got candle action above the SMA line, breaking through the top of the Bollinger Band. Not usually where I want to get in, but we got some pretty good cumulative delta action here. So it's possible if it breaks the Bollinger Band, it might return to this resistance here at about $1.45, 46. So if you want to wait for the dip, if there is one, I like this area, this green area down here around $1.38. That might be a good place for a price alert. Quick review, right click, add an alert. And information source is AA score, notifications, however you want to do it. I like to notify in my app to pop up on my computer, and a sound also on my computer. Choose a sound that you like. It's not too obnoxious. And click create, and you're good to go. And then when and if it chimes, reevaluate. Okay, I prefer 15-minute charts and alerts on the RTI, which we'll talk about in a moment. I've also got the supply and demand visible range telling me the support and resistance and on this time frame. Similar to what we looked at on the 5. And we're kind of sitting in the middle here in no man's land currently on the chart. So I'd want to set some alerts. We talked about on Friday. Well, we'll talk about the dips and pumps in a moment. For those that are pumping, we can use the 50 and catch some of these moves, or wait till it gets to the 80, or do both. So if you're trading both directions, let's treat this like a spot trade first. So add an alert on the RTI, crossing up. If you want to catch that midline, you go with a 50. If you want something that really breaks out hard, then 80 is usually better. We're going to trigger once per bar close. Trading view change this. It's a little different. Alert name, AA score purchase. And looks like notifications look about the same. So that's how you can do that. If you're just looking for pumps that break that 80 range, that can be a good way to go. If you want to trade both directions, pumps above the 80 and dumps below the 20, then instead of crossing up, you're going to be exiting a channel. 80 here, 20 here, and once per bar close, and looks pretty much the same. So that will get you those breaks above the 80, and then if it dips down pretty hard, breaks below the 20, you can catch it on the short side. Okay, so that covers more of a trend trade approach on dips and retraces and pumps and retraces. We can do something a little different. Add an alert on the RTI. What I usually talk about is entering a channel with 80 as the top range. My mouse is not cooperating. And 20 is the bottom. Once per bar close. Again, I usually call this 1, 2, 3 dip pump, and then use a different sound. Instead of this, I might use chirpy. But we talked about on Friday, I think Peter brought it up, that maybe in doing the 80, we should go raise that to 100, because we'll get better entries on some of these bigger pumps. Something breaks up here. Let me cancel this because it's in the way. Say it breaks up here, and then it starts to come back down. If we get in at 100, we're going to get in one candle sooner, and then catch this move down. But if you go in 100, you might miss some of these smaller dips as well. Depends on the 100 might be better if you're looking for a bigger drop, say 2% or more. So that's something you might want to take into consideration on the coins that you're shorting. Instead of setting the 80, maybe go with 100 or even 120, and then see how that works out. I haven't tried it yet, but I was considering it today. I kind of went with the tried and true, but I think later in the week, depending on the market does, I might try that. See, I got something in the chat. Tomas says hello. Hello, Tomas. And all right, I bounced around a little on that one. Any questions on the RTI? I mean, looking back, it did pretty well.
Yeah, I got a question.
Okay.
I'm still really green at this. So you're saying catch the peak at say 100 instead of 80 for a short. Is that
Yeah.
what you're saying?
Yeah. Because
And
you see how
then
it's pumping up here, how it's going like way up to 140, 158. So if you
and
use
then
the
you would
hundreds, yeah, go ahead.
get out of your short. What would be the plan to get out of the short at when it crosses 50?
Um, that would be one way to do it. That's actually a pretty good idea. Or you could even hold all the way till it breaks below 20. I think that's a little risky. You could, yeah, I like the 50 idea. That's pretty good. Because let's say on this one here from Sunday morning, it hits up to 159, and then you get 100, breaks through 100 right about here on this candle. Yeah, let me get my vertical line. So yeah, that one. And so you get in there instead of here. So it's not a big difference. This isn't a great example, but it goes up here and then you get out probably right about there with 1.2%. So it's not a big difference on this particular example, but
So you're gonna do the short, and then it pump up, and you're just gonna ride that through till you get the lower low.
if I were trading manually, yes, but I use a third-party software that determines this ahead of time. So, um, but I might make some adjustments to that based on what I was saying earlier, instead of maybe, to be honest, on shorts, since we're trending up, I probably will not. I might make some changes to the longs I take. Shorts, it's a bit risky to do that in a bull market. So maybe a better way to say it would be to get in some of these longs, instead of crossing it at 20, maybe you cross at 10 or 0 and get in a little bit sooner on coins that are coming back, that have dipped and are retracing. Then you could do that on spot trades.
And you would still retrace to the 50, or you would just ride it out. Oh,
On that, on the spot trade, I'm going to look at like my SMA line. I'm going to look at support, resistance. Like let's say I got in here, using the usual method on the 20. Let's see. So it breaks through here. So I get here. SMA line is here, just under 1%. There's a bunch of candles, bunch of resistance here in this $1.44 area. So I might use that. And then I get out in 45 minutes with 2.22%. Or I could wait till it goes, assuming this is in play at the time I'm doing this, I might go to the bottom of the red zone and then try to pick up 3.5%. And you see a couple wicks go up there. So it depends on what your risk tolerance is. But the SMA line, this red line here, the resistance I see in the candles, and then the resistance determined by this supply and demand are what I often use when I'm manually trading, to determine where I get out. I think that that approach is really good for people spot trading.
okay. Thank you.
All right. Okay. All right. Someone sent me something about, a little off topic. Try to get back to you. All right. So that's IMX. Let's see what else we have. Go over to Altcoin Alert and let's try the long-term sentiment sort. I'm going to match this up with the Elder Impulse, the sentiment, what people are talking about online. And Elder Impulse is a technical indicator. And I see bullish on both. That's something I want to look at closer. Ethereum makes a rare appearance. And Doge, also kind of rare. And when they match, yeah, ICP, Rune. Rune is one I've been following today. And traded that. And STX, a pretty big pump for that one. I like this one, but I figured it was played out. So let's look at Rune, Thorchain. Clean this up a little bit. Okay, on the 5. Broke down into support this morning, trending up a little bit, hanging around the SMA line, no man's land. So I don't like that. But I do like this 650 area as a place for a price alert on the 5-minute chart. So if you want to go with the price alert, that one would probably work. On the 15-minute chart with our RTI alerts, let's see what we got here. It's doing some of this, which I like. Makes a dip down here. Could have caught this short, assuming I was up at 4 in the morning on a Sunday. Unlikely. Yeah, let's show all the trades I'd want to take. So I like this one on a short. Breaks above here. Looks like right about here. So I like that long. Breaks down here. I like the short. And another, I'm not sure if I would have taken a second one or not. But this one breaks again. So that looks good. And then it breaks above right about here and probably still be in that trade if I took it. So I like the candle action and the entries on Rune, on the 80-20 on the RTI. And I don't think I'm going to set these up because I just did it on IMX. So any questions or you want to review on how to do the RTI alerts on this one? Well, let's do some more extreme ones on the dip and pump approach. So let's see, you don't want to enter a channel. Instead of 80 and 20, maybe 90 and 10 or 100 and 10. Once per bar close. Again, that's important. So that keeps it on until you turn it off. So it can give you multiple alerts throughout the day. It can also be annoying if it's just hanging around where you have your entry, because it might go off every 15 minutes for a couple hours. That doesn't happen very often. Long-term sentiment buy. And click create. And so this is now, if this breaks below this 100, it'll trigger instead of the 80. If it breaks above the 10, it'll trigger instead of the 20. So I hope that makes sense. I'm going to get rid of this one though, because I already have an 80-20 here. Getting some background noise. So I'm going to mute everybody. Okay, let's get back in it. Any questions on Rune? Okay, we'll look at one more on Altcoin Alert before we go to iCoinPro. We could try social activity. Looking for and match it up with trading activity. STX showing hot as one would think. IOTX is there as well. CFX. Maybe it's just anything that ends in X. Look at this. CFX up 30%, IOTX, STX. But we looked at IMX earlier and it was down. DIDX as well. So much for that theory. Beam. Ooh, really got crushed. RSR, I trade sometimes. Got a fire and a thumbs up. Yeah, I might go with that one. Chromia, I was looking at this morning, up 9%. That might be a better option. Let's look at Chromia. And let's see, 5-minute chart. Hanging around the SMA line. See some short-term support here around 1475. And then down here in the green zone around 1425. On the 15, let's look at past RTI breaks. Break above here with really no confirmation. I don't think I would have taken that one. Of course, it's easy to do in hindsight. The dip below here. Yeah, I'm going to move these up because I can't really see very well in the cumulative delta for my confirmation. Okay, dip below here with a little bit of confirmation. Nice short. Break above here. Is that right about there? Not much confirmation, but eventually makes a big move up. Catch that short there, and then this one breaking above the 80, right about here. Same trend. And then when it breaks below the 80, probably too late on this one. Makes a big spike down. And if you took a short, you'd still be in it. So overall, pretty good entries. Did you say something, Kim?
Yeah. Back when you were saying at the 20, right after the two lows, right? Yeah, right in there. You said it shows two confirmations, and I guess I'm missing it.
Yeah, they're hard to see. So if you double click on this, it'll blow it up and set your other indicators aside so you can look at it a little more closely. But I find if I have to do that, then it's not very forceful. So, but
I've never used that indicators. Not
yeah, I like to use it in tandem with the RTI as confirmation. It tells me the on a candle like this, if there's just one more buyer than a seller, it'll turn green. But this will tell me the extent of buyers and sellers. This tells me a big green candle tells me there's a lot of buyers and very few sellers in this time frame. But sometimes it confirms, sometimes it doesn't. So if it's like trending up, sometimes that's enough for me. If there's a bunch of little candles trending up, because that'll often happen before a big move. But the best way is to have something you can actually see trending in the way you want it to. And I'm less concerned about this after a dip in a pump because it's coming back. It's just starting to retrace, to turn. Whereas a trend trade, you want better evidence that it's going in the way that you want. You're less likely to see that in something that's been previously going the other way.
EJ.
Yes.
You might also point out what I like to look at is the divergence. And so when you look at where it says 6 o'clock there towards the left, and you have that big red down move there on the RTI. And the next one isn't as far down, but the price is still going down.
Right.
And
This one
then,
here.
yeah, well, so that one isn't as, it shows you the momentum is slowing down,
Mm,
even
yeah.
though the price is still going down.
Right. The momentum.
And then you begin to see more green little candles on the cumulative. So that lets me know that be on the lookout for a change in the trend. And if you're in the green zone on the supply demand, and you begin to see that RTI line cross up above the moving average, that you may get that move.
Mhm.
And then you literally go from the green all the way up to the red for a big move on the coin.
Yeah. So the RTI crosses the moving average here and then makes that move. Yeah. So
And what was the range from the bottom to the top there? What was the percentage? Yeah. No. On the price.
on the price.
Yeah, on the Lex algo from there to the top. What was that move?
Oh, okay. Like that. Yeah,
Okay.
15%. So yes, Frank is more of a swing trader than I am. So yeah, this is something he told me about the RTI and the cumulative delta, and I've liked
And
it.
connect do a drawing where you do a trend line from the RTI low of the red to the little one to the right, and then show up on the price where it went down, even though the RTI was going up. Yeah, connect from there to the next one. No, you don't even have to go that far. Yeah, right there.
All right, you're looking for a divergence then?
Right. And then
Okay.
on the price, go up and do the same thing from the low on the RTI, go straight up and connect down to the lower price. And there's an obvious divergence there. And I
Mhm.
say that means start looking for a move. You may not get it, but
Mhm.
it alerts you to it may change in a relatively short amount of time.
Yeah, I was doing a lot with divergence,
Right.
say 4 to 6 months ago, and I kind of got away from it because it wasn't working for me as well as I would like. But it might be time to look at it again. And divergence is what you're seeing here. It's a disagreement between the indicator and the price action. So, this is bullish divergence when the indicator looks bullish and the price action's bearish. It can often, like Frank said, warn of a change and can be a precursor. It has some, predictive abilities, but it's wrong a lot too. So, but it's definitely something to keep in your arsenal, and
No, nothing's perfect. It
nothing is
it
perfect.
alerts you to see if that starts to happen. That's how I use it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
All right.
doesn't guarantee it's going to do it. No.
Mm-hmm.
But then you could have stayed in that trade the whole time because your RTI is trending up. It's above the moving average on the RTI. You're starting to get way more green than red candles on the cumulative delta.
Mm-hmm.
And you may have got that huge candle that took you right to the top. So the size of the green tips on those cumulative delta and just the number of green starts to be much more than red.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for that.
Makes a little more sense. Thank you.
Yeah. I don't know if I like it having somebody attending my Zoom who knows more about it than I do, but yeah, it's no matter how much experience you have, you got to be open to learning new stuff, especially markets change and different indicators work better than others. All right, well, that's all I have for Altcoin Alert. I want to look at a couple things on iCoinPro. Any questions on AA before I head over? All right, didn't think so. I am on the iCoinPro, home of the 1, 2, 3 dip. And there's two of their info sources that I like, that I use frequently. One is the RSI SPY. This will tell me, RSI is kind of sort of similar to RTI. I used to use the RSI pretty exclusively months ago, but this is still useful data. 1 hour RSI below 30 usually indicates that it's due for a comeback, but we don't have many of those scores at the moment, only one. So that's not very useful for us. I will sort it the other way, look for pumps above the 70. Come on, there we go. And so a lot of these are what we considered overbought and due to come back, could be good candidates to short. We got CFX, IOTEX, again, that one's been pumping today, STX. All these that have been pumping today are going to have high values on the 1 hour RSI and could be coins to short. Sushi, interesting. Now, I don't necessarily set up alerts just to short when I see this. I still look for both directions. So with that in mind, let's look at, kind of like Zen. Plus I'm feeling Zen. Let's look at Zen.
With that many that would be a possibility of short, what would be the I guess the most obvious? You obviously can't look at all of them and research all of them. If you were popping through them, what would be the most obvious tag to say, hey, this is a good one to look at?
That's a good question. Now we know from our the coins we were looking at on Altcoin Alert that some of these have really pumped, and that's why I eliminated IOTEX and STX. I don't trade Bitcoin pairs, so I eliminate those. And some of these I just haven't heard of, so they're not likely to be on the exchanges that I trade on. But you could trade CFX somewhere, probably. It might be on Binance, if you can trade on Binance, Binance US or Coinbase if you want to make a spot trade. In this scenario, you're not going to short that, but this is still telling you there's been some action on this. It might be due for a dip, and then you get in on the dip if you're spot trading. So, but this isn't the best way to look for spot trades as far as the green where it's dipped below the 30. That's a really good way to look for spot trades, but this not so much, because you're going to want to wait for it to dip down to at least this support area, 1066, or down here in the green zone at 1032, and that may or may not happen today. So, but if you trade both directions like I do, this could be a good place to get in on a dip. You can set an alert on the RTI, maybe at 100, 110 instead of 80. Or if you want that direction down confirmed, then you want to go with the 80. So it comes all the way down here and it's coming down with force, and then you get in on your short. But if you want to get in earlier, try that 100 or 110 on the top range of your RTI. These dips down here from Sunday did really well. Dip below the 20 and came back. Decent confirmation there, not great, but more green than red and trending up. So yeah, that would have been a good entry right about here. And eventually catch that move up. So not loving this for a spot trade, but yeah, it's got potential. Okay, let's do a quick review on our RTI alerts for our trend trade. Exit a channel, 80, 20, once per bar close, and I forgot what's this, RSI SPY. And then there you go. So if it goes above the 80, you get in. If it goes below the 20, you get in. You could also use the 50. We've been doing that a little bit too. So instead of exiting a channel, we're just crossing, and we'll choose 50 and create. And then that, when you go through this middle line, it'll sometimes putz around this middle line a while and alerts will go off, and it's annoying, but it can be a better entry on a trend trade. Then our dips and pumps, exiting a channel, 80, 20, once per bar close. And I usually go with 1, 2, 3 dip pump. And so this will catch those moves that are coming from the bottom and going down from the top. Okay, any questions on Zen? We'll look at one more. Okay. So that's the RSI SPY. The other one I like is the Buddy Coin Crawler. It doesn't give me a direction, but it'll tell me what's moving that day. I'm sorting by average low to SMA, so that's the 24-hour low. The SMA line is the simple moving average, that red line you see between the Bollinger Bands on my charts. So that kind of middle zone. And if something's, say, 4 or 5% or higher, that usually means it's moving. And that's something I want to check out in more detail. INJ is something I trade sometimes. Got 7% move today. So that's about the best one I see. I've got a low buy order in on this one on a spot trade on Celestia, on TIA. And actually, let's look at this one. And we'll go with, it's got this drop-down menu, which is convenient. And, oh, it came up with my old layout. Let's get out of this. Go old school, TIA, USD. We'll look at Coinbase. Actually, we'll get back to that in a moment. We've got an alert on Rune. Let's look at that. Yeah, this is what I'm not a real big fan of. When it's just going sideways like this around the 20, it just went off. It's crossing above the 20 barely, and then when it's going sideways, I usually ignore these. Cumulative isn't that great. So I'm gonna wait for it to, yeah, this alert went off. Yeah, 3:15, which hour and a half ago. I ignored it then because I didn't like the candle action is just going sideways. I want to see a little bit better movement before I get in. So I'll pass on that one for now. Let's go over to TIA. All right, 5-minute chart. Green zone down here at 8:33. Let's get the big picture on this one. Oh. Still pumping. They don't usually do that. $15-minute chart. Yeah, if it dips down here, that could be interesting if it gets to the green zone. The last time it broke the 20, came back up, it made a nice move. See, this is what I want to see. These are the ideal breaks below the 20 when they come back up and got some of this red in there. They're just going, you know, kind of squiggly wiggly sideways, not so much. Then you get some really good confirmation from your cumulative. And yeah, this makes a nice move. You know, 4.75. If you stay in longer, you can catch the secondary move for 8%. You know, it's a really good day trade. So yeah, this break here was pretty good as well from Sunday morning. So this one might be, I'm going to set this alert, maybe trade this on Coinbase. Add an alert. I'm going to cross. I'm going to be crossing up on the 20 once per bar close. And this was a buddy coin crawler. And I'll go handbell on this one. I've got a low buy order in on this, but I don't think it hit it yet on Coinbase. Any questions on TIA? Celestia? Okay, I did get a message on the chat from Tomas, who came in late and asked for a review of Bitcoin. We went over that in some detail when we started. And he's asking, is a short now a good option? So hey, let's check it out. We didn't really look at it from that viewpoint. So let's look at this with our usual alerts and go on a bigger time frame, say the 1 hour, for those of you who are more swing traders. Yeah, it's hard to determine using this because it's at resistance already. It seemed to have some difficulty pushing through 42K. So you could catch a move down to maybe 41 or 40,500, something like that, which would be, 4%. It's pretty good day trade or swing trade if you stay in for a couple days and get that move down. I think it's kind of risky, but and it's probably, I don't day trade Bitcoin very often, scalping it maybe on some auto trading options, but I don't manually trade Bitcoin this way. I have traded it sort of as a hedging approach, looking at 1 hour and 4 hour charts. So I think this could be useful. This could be a useful setup for that. You could wait till it dips below the RTI. I mean, you can use these concepts on bigger time frames if you want. Let's see, the last time it dipped below the RTI was here. Oh, here.
Why do you not trade Bitcoin that way?
Because they're better coins that move more. Yeah, the altcoins move way better.
But you use them with leverage, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But, I have trading friends who prefer using Bitcoin and Ethereum because they don't move as much, meaning they are less likely to wreck you if they go against you. And that's valid too.
Okay.
But like here, it broke below the 80. It really didn't really do much. Yeah, less than 1%. That's what I don't like. I mean, it breaks below the 80 on the RTI, almost goes to the 50. Good confirmation here, but doesn't really do much. So I know I'm kind of taking one example, but yeah, if you're looking for something to short, I'd probably choose something that moves a little bit better. All right, any questions on that? I've been blabbing for about 45 minutes. I'll wrap it up here. If you are watching on the recording, hope to see you live next time. Please check out the opportunities in the pinned comment to help support the channel. You guys have a good week trading. Hope to see you Friday. Have a good one. Bye.